it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss something that until recently I really wasn't sure about, and that is magical realism. What is that? I hear a lot of people saying that in their reviews or when they're talking about a book, and I'm like, I read that book. What's magical realism? So instead of just continuing to be ignorant, I decided to do a little bit of digging and see what is magical realism. Now, in my defense, I kind of had an idea that like maybe it was like magic that was real. Literature, painting, and film, it encompasses a wide range of subtle different concepts, but the main concept centers around the acceptance of magic in the rational world. And there are a couple of other terms that this can be known by. So now that I know, and you know what magical realism is, I was like, I've read some books that this is, and I wasn't too far off the mark when I assumed that it was like real magic. So I went ahead and picked 4 things that I have read or watched that was magical realism, and I will share those with you because I recommend all of these. So the first one I want to share with you, in the first instance that I kind of remember reading or watching something that was magical realism, is Chocolat, and it has Johnny Depp in it, and it is about a mother and a girl and her daughter that move to a small French village that has like these morals that are very rigid, and of course like chocolate is a sin, so they kind of shake things up in that town. So I really enjoyed this movie. I watched it so long ago, and then after of course doing my little magical realism bit and realizing that that movie is magical realism, I'm like, I need to watch it again because it was pretty fantastic, and it had gypsies, so that's cool. But the second experience that I remember having with a book, my second experience is a book, and that is The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake by Amy Bender. And this is a book I actually read before I was a part of BookTube, and this is about a young girl that on her birthday, her mother bakes her a lemon cake and with chocolate. So this is like the cake on the front. And as soon as she bites into that cake, she is flooded with emotions. And at first she doesn't really know what is going on, but then she realizes anything that she eats, she can taste the feelings of the person that made it. So that's kind of unfortunate for her because she's a young girl and she starts, you know, experiencing everybody's feelings, and maybe feelings that a young girl shouldn't really experience, and so she doesn't know if this is like a gift or a curse. And if I remember correctly, there's this like one place that she loves going to eat because the food always tastes like so delicious because the feelings are amazing. This book was like amazing, and I need to reread it. So definitely check this book out if you haven't read it already. Another example, and my third experience with magical realism, one that stands out in my mind, and you have probably heard of this book because it's by a very popular author, and that is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. And I really love Rainbow Rowell. I have loved all of her books. I'm pretty sure I rated this 5 stars or 4 stars because all of her books have been 4 or 5 stars for me, except for Carry On, but let's not get into that. This book is about Georgie McCool and her husband, Neil, I believe is his name, and basically they're having some marital issues, and Georgie is really involved in her work, and Neil and the family were supposed to go away and see family for Christmas, but Georgie gets this really great opportunity and decides to stay back and do her work while Neil and the kids go off to visit family. While he takes off, Georgie is, you know, kind of working on her job, and I think she goes and stays with her mother, and she uses this old rotary phone that used to be in her bedroom back in the day, and she calls her husband, but she doesn't get her husband in the present time. She's able to reach back and before they were ever married. So this is a great chance to kind of either fall in love with him all over again or realize that this isn't meant to be. And I really enjoyed this story. So the magical realism bit in this is that it's kind of like the phone is like a portal through time. And then the last book that I want to talk to you about, my 4th experience with magical realism, was Every Day by David Levithan. And I really did enjoy this book. This book is about a person that wakes up every day in a new body. So it could be male or female, young, old, white, black, it doesn't matter. It's just everything is new and open for this individual. And of course, that is the magical realism bit, that every day you're waking up in a new body. But on one particular day, the person ends up in a male body of this guy, and he ends up falling in love with the guy's girlfriend. And so every day he's trying to like get back to her. It's a very interesting story, very deep. The people that he ends up in are varied and unique and different. And I cried during this book, which I don't often do. Like even in sad books, I don't often do. Although I have been crying more and more recently, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I really enjoyed this book. I don't have a copy because I borrowed it from my library. But those are 4 recommendations that I can give you to like maybe get you started with magical realism. So I do have my eye on 3 more books, and that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman, which I've only read the illustrated volume 1 of the Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman, and I didn't like that. So I've been hesitant. But I think I want to give one of his like books a try. So The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. And there's one more. Oh, The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. Is that the title? I forget. By Leslie Walton. Yeah, so those are 3 books that I definitely have on my radar for checking out sometime, hopefully in the near future. But yeah, if you have any other recommendations, make sure to leave them in the comments below. And now that you and I both know what magical realism is, I feel a little bit smarter. Yes, I do. Anyway, have a great day. I'll see you again soon.